man. We checking in with our guest, Drew the Kiiid. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Appreciate y'all for having me. It's your boy Drew the Kiiid, Drew the K, triple ID. That's Kiiid with 3 eyes. Don't forget it.
Talk it then. Talk it then.
Oh, bro. People, they be putting 2 eyes sometimes. I'm like, man, what y'all on?
Who you got with you?
It's my manager, Angel, man. It's my partner in crime, bro. Like 6 years, we've been running strong. He plucked me out of a writing camp and been holding it down with me ever since. So
what's going on, everybody?
What's up with you? What's up with you, man? Thank you for coming through, Angel. You say plucked you out of a writing camp.
Yeah, so we it's like when I was like 17, I moved back to Chicago from Miami. And I was, from the West Side, born here. My mama was just like, we going to Miami randomly. I was like 13. And then we moved back in the middle of my senior year. And then so I just got this chip on my shoulder because I used to play baseball for like 13 years. And then I had switched over to music my junior year. And I was like doing shows and stuff out in Miami, like trying to build that community. And then so that drastic switch back to Chicago where it's like people didn't know me for music, I had to kind of reinvent myself. So it was like getting back to, just grinding. I was on LinkedIn heavy, just going crazy, trying to meet people. So I had one person connect me to this next person. And then I ended up with my homie Nick Keenan, who was he was like a music supervisor over at VML, which is like a big ad agency. Brought me to the writing camp, bring some of the homies through, Angel being one of the homies. And I'm just like, I'm geeked to be in a studio for the first time. I'm like, dang, I get to hear my music on some speakers. Like, I'm like, there's like some real studio monitors. And then so I'm playing it. Angel come in there and he was like, yo, like, who is this? And I was like, oh, this is me. Blah, blah, blah. And then I think hearing my old joints, I'm like, yo, this was trash. But he's seen the vision. So it's like, I appreciate him for having that foresight. And, we been rocking with each other since and, doing a bunch of sync music. He kind of got me into that whole thing, which is like kind of my whole bread and butter right now. So, yeah, man, shout out him.
Hey, man, that's important that people come through and believe in the vision,
Facts. Big facts.
What did you see in him that you feel me? Because he say that music was trash.
The funny thing is that I think now with the way people are making music and how convenient it is, I'm not really looking for musical talent because talent's everywhere. I'm looking for an attitude. And the thing that I noticed about him specifically that first time is we had 6 rooms, 30 people. I think it was already two hours in. Everybody's still talking, doing whatever, messing around, showing each other beats. Like everybody's just peacocking, doing their thing. And this kid, and I was watching him, I remember, because he actually came without an invite. That's the other funny part that I'm going to tell you. Like, this kid was all about his grind.
Yeah, it was loose. Like, they told me about it, but I was like, I ain't get no other details. So I was like, I hopped on the train and just like showed up. I was like, yo,
he's
like, what's
do
up?
What he can. Yeah. And I remember because they just borrowed us this, I don't know, what was it, like $1 million studio? It had like 6 rooms. So I'm watching this, I'm like, what is he doing? And at every room, everyone's messing around. It's been a couple hours. Drew the Kiiid, the only one. He went around in the room. Hey, is anybody laying anything? You mind if I lay something down real quick? And within an hour and a half, this kid had 6 demos. Nobody else has even gotten anything set up in the room. This kid's already got 6 demos lined up and ready to go. Cut. Just one take wonder, just nothing. I'm like, what's going on? Who's this kid? I started asking around. I was like, yo, who's got dibs on this kid? What's up with this kid? Nobody. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody's staking no claims. I'm like, okay. So the next day, we got to do some writing for that last Scooby-Doo movie that came out. I owed them some demos for some briefs and stuff. And I was just like, hey, kid, you don't know me. I don't know you. Want to go to Milwaukee? Want to make some demos?
I'm like a stranger.
Yeah, I think I'm like 18 at the time. So it's like I told my mama, and you know how black mamas be. Like,
I don't know him.
Yeah,
she
you know
pulled
what I'm
up
saying?
on me quick.
So she dropped me off. She dropped me off at his crib, so we could ride over to Milwaukee together. And then so she got this this Escalade or whatever, and like the windows ain't tinted, but they tinted enough. So it's like she rolled the window down to talk to him. Boom, her phone was already up. Take a picture of him. She like, I know where you live. She like, I know what you look like. And she like, you better bring him back. And then she was like, all right. And then Angel took me down there. And then I just kind of got in with the community over there. Another great studio experience out there, just being more familiar with professional recording studios and learning the etiquette of recording and how to have a polished vocal recording and how to contribute to a song in totality of
and how to separate yourself too. He was really good at that right away. That was another thing about young kids that I've just never seen before. Anytime you bring a young person on, especially for like brief and sync work, that commercial work, they try so hard to put themselves into it. Like, jumping ahead and not understanding, like, no, what you're talking about is a brand partnership. We need you to fulfill this brief, an idea.
Right, like you're not you whatever they asking for. So I think I always prided myself on like taking my feelings out of it and then being able to get to the work. And I think that's really one of the things that he saw that like made him commit more to like the resources that we needed, the time spent in making it, artist development. Like these are things that are like crucial building blocks to, I think, a emerging artist success. And it was like, that's not an easy feat to just be like, I'm gonna help mold you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that was one of the biggest things that that always stood out to me about him, was just like how dedicated he was. And even when other people tried to come in, because he, like, I told him, I was like, yeah, bro, like, if you want to get like other clients and stuff too, like I have no problem with that. And then he was like, yeah, like, let's try to expand it. And we've tried, and then the people, it's like a sense of entitlement, or like they don't want to do the work, or they think it's gonna be like, ABC, when it's like, no, we gotta really put in a lot of thought, a lot of effort, and be conscious about what we're making and how we're making it. And it's like, sometimes people aren't ready for that, but I'm grateful that I was able to kind of just go in and be a sponge and be malleable, so he could mold me into like a beast. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like for you to just randomly, show up. You just had an invite, but you wasn't invited.
Yeah, it was like they told me about it, but it was not like you can come. But it was like yeah, we doing this thing, so like, we probably can't work on ABC. And I was like, oh, y'all doing this thing? I was like, all right, for sure. I was like, well, I'm gonna come to the thing. And then like ain't nobody tell me no, but ain't nobody tell me yes. So I was like, bumping, I'm gonna pull up. So yeah, it was just all like by chance. Super by chance. And that's why I feel like manifestation and just believing in yourself is very important, because like a lot of young artists that I meet kind of be in their head where it's like, I don't know if they'll accept me, or I don't know if I'll be able to perform how it is. But with me, I'm kind of like unapologetic and shameless in a sense. And I've always kind of been like that, even when I wasn't making music at the level that I'm making now. It was just always like, man, I know I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do my best every time. So I think more artists need to be in that mindset and have that mentality, because you never know what could stem from that.
Do you know, being so young at the time and jumping in like that, do you know how much, or do you ever think about how much you skipped the line? Like you just told me a lot of steps that like a lot of artists, even, probably 10 years senior to you, probably never even touched yet.
Bro, I think you just hit it on the head. That's the epitome of my career. Like, is me constantly skipping a line because of me knowing that, me knowing that I'm nice. You know what I'm saying? Me knowing that I could perform and I can do what I'm supposed to do in that setting. Mm-hmm. But then two is just like also having that confidence.
For real.
And then with confidence, like also comes a little cockiness as well. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, because it's one thing to be confident and you're like, I believe in myself. But not only do I believe in myself, I believe in the ability that I can make other people around me better. So it's like, since I was 16, 17, coming with that mentality, it's only been me doing leaps and bounds for things. And it's like me pairing up with him was like supercharging me, and pairing up with the community that we have of people who are like, 5 to 7 years my senior, and I'm the young boy in the group, and they constantly pouring into me.
Straight
and
to
I'm just
varsity.
taking it in.
Straight to varsity.
Yeah, because it's like, it's one thing to be like people saying stuff and you're like, all right, I hear you. But then it's like to take it, implement it immediately. Like they'll tell me something, and it was never like, oh man, well, I don't know this, I don't know. It was like, okay, let me try it. And if that don't work, let me try this. If that don't work, let me try this. And it was like leaving no stone unturned. So I think you hit it on the head with that, just like skipping the line because I feel like I have the right to. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to believe that you have the right to skip the line, and you will skip it.
For real. And also, too, on a professional standpoint, you got all the talent in the world, but two things that people going to go with, they're going to go with the likable one, and they're going to go with the confident one.
Facts.
Or if you both, you gone.
Facts.
Like, for real, you gone.
And that's the thing, too. And it's like, I know I just talked a lot about being confident and cocky, but it's like also knowing the time and place for it. Like,
exactly.
When I'm, like, it's almost like an athlete, you know what I'm saying? Me playing sports for as long as I did, I know how to step on the field and turn that switch on. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. I step in the studio, turn that switch on. But outside of that, it's a lot of politic, and it's a lot of shaking hands. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of displaying yourself in a positive light. So you got to be humble as well. When people who are in a position to not only put you on, but they in a position to where they got themselves, you gotta respect that, and you gotta be like, yo, like I'm humbled, you know, being before you. Like I'm trying to learn from you. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even gotta say those words, you know, verbatim. You just gotta show your actions. Like, bro, like whatever you say, like I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna give it my all every time. So.
All right, let's get into a quick music break. I want to play Snowfall first, man. Explain that record for us real quick.
Man, yeah, Snowfall, one of them joints. I had made that cause this was 2021, beginning of 2021. Pandemic was still going on, but like I was out in Virginia and California helping my sister out with my nephew during the whole 2020. So I had took a break from Chicago, came back to Chicago, and again, every time I leave and come back, I get a chip on my shoulder. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I'm over at Angel Crib. We turned his office kind of into a makeshift studio because I record myself on my laptop. I got my mic. I hold that shit in my hand. I don't even, like, you know what I'm saying? So, my bad. I don't know if I curse.
No, you
but I'm holding the mic in my hand, and I'm like, you just cutting records. Like, I'm doing 3 a day, and that's my thing. And Snowfall was just one of the ones that stood out. And we were, like, kind of revisiting the old music, and we was like, what's one joint that's, like, going to go? And I've been trying to put that out for, like, 2 years. So, I'm happy that we finally got it was able to put it out, got it into the mix. So. Snowfall, just one of them joints about Chicago. It's one of them classic records. A shorty from Miami, never seen the snow, never been to Chicago. I'm gonna show her what Chicago about, what the snow like.
Yo, do us a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to tap that notification bell as well so you can stay updated. Now let's get to the video.
You say you got some where you was like 13 and you went to you moved to Miami.
Yeah, 13 moved to Miami.
Talk about that experience. You know, that's a cultural jump, that's a weather jump, you know, that's pretty much a culture shock.
Everything, bro. It was so drastic to me, and it was like, you know, I'm such a team player, especially with my mama, because I gotta sing. My mom was single at the time, but she wasn't single. She had my stepdad, but like my stepdad suffered a stroke, and then my real dad, he was incarcerated from when I was like 2 years old to 8 years old. So he was in Wisconsin. He was in Appleton, Wisconsin for like 6 years. Mm-hmm. And then so she's just been through so much, and she just wanted to change the scenery. She was just trying to get away from just the city and how crazy it was. And then my aunt had already moved to Orlando, and she was thinking about going to Miami. So she was like, "Yeah, let's just go." And I'm like, "Bump it, we out." So we go. Me, my grandma, my little cousins, my stepdad, my sister, my little brother, all move out there. Meet my aunt in Miami. She come out there too. And like we just kind of just started taking everything in, but it was such a culture shock. Like I'm talking about, it was dudes darker than me, talking like Dominicans. I'm like, yo, like I'm like, I never even seen this before. I never seen nothing like this, and it was like, it was a blessing to be exposed to that, because I feel like a lot of Chicago artists too. Sometimes we get so. Like, I think Chicago just such a raw city. We feel like we don't need no other cities. We don't need to tap in with other people. And I think sometimes that can hold us back. And I feel like, when you think of somebody like Kanye, when you think of somebody like, Lupe, to where it's like they got the exposure of other cities. They got the exposure of different experiences, different cultures. And you can put that into your music. That's how you get them like, countrywide records or them global records. And it's like everybody's revering, because now you can relate to everybody. So going out there was just such a positive experience for me. Made a lot of new friends, people from New York, people from the islands, people from everywhere, linking up with them and then introducing them to Chicago. They introduced me to their coaches. And then, the competition for baseball out there was crazy. The athletics is always hot. Any outdoor sports, they beast out there. So it was just so many things that made me better in all aspects of my life. And it was the first time where I like genuinely seen like luxury in action, where it's like, because just coming from Chicago, there's definitely luxury when you go downtown, but when you go downtown, you like going down there for something specific. You're not staying downtown per se. So being out there, just living in it and seeing that every day, mugs pulling up, you got Tory Lanez pulling up to the barbershop down the street from my house with the Rolls Royce, parked that mug on the curb, and it was like, because his parents stay in the Miami suburbs, but he out there for whatever, and it's like always having people come there, the tourists, the Heat players, everybody, you just see it, opulence, luxury all the time. So that make you want more. And I went to high school with Lil Meech, so shout out Lil Meech too. But these are the people I'm competing with for like girls. I'm like, these are ones I'm going to school with. You got the scammers down there, and it's just like my values and integrity wouldn't allow me to like do anything illegal just because that's how I was raised. So I was like, but I need to get some money and I need to like be able to compete. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a competitive person. I'm like, I need to be able to, get some shorties too. Right. And then so I started reselling sneakers. And my cousin was in the MLB for like 22 years. So he plugged me up with a bunch of MLB players. And I started selling sneakers to them. I got like 40,000 in like 3 months. It was crazy.
Turned up.
40,000 3 months. Because it's such a, like, I don't want to say it's a slow city, but it's kind of that Southern mentality. That's not saying Southern people are slow in any way. It's just a little more laid back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's everybody out there is kind of like, I want to be rich and I want to be successful, but I want to do it quick and easy. Right. Versus like, you got somebody like from Chicago come out there. I'm like, oh, this is a lick. This a lick. This a lick. All I got to do is put the pieces in play and it's all going to fall in order, which I did. I was like 16 years old, 40,000. I never blew a bag so fast in my life. That was my first time blowing a bag.
Man,
I'm 15, man. I ain't got no bills and nothing. I'm going to Aventura Mall. My mama had this little 2-seater. I got 2 shorties in the 2-seater. Like,
losing it.
I was going crazy. And it's
too
like
lit for a 15-year-old.
Too lit for a 15-year-old. And I'm like, man, but that was the culture out there. Like, you got the Kodaks, you got the, Lil Meeches, you got these people where it's like from an early age, that's all they know. It's like, bro, get on. And coming from Chicago, we like get on, but in a different sense to where it's like, we gonna get in the mud, we gonna get grimy. They like, I'm gonna do it however easily I can. So when you take that and you do it easy to me, it was probably like harder to other people to like, but I was doing it in such a way to where it's like, it built the infrastructure and the pieces for my music career to where it's like, I didn't even realize, and my day job too, like I'm a copywriter for my day job. I work in advertising, and it's like, people don't even know what that is because they think copywriting with like RIGHT, which is legal, is WRITE, which is creative marketing. You're writing verbiage for, different marketing materials, different advertisements.
There's a lot of copywriters in Miami too.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't even know what it was at the time. That's the thing. I'm 15. I'm just like living life. And I was a pretty smart kid. Like I had a Cambridge curriculum, like different things. So I'm just, that money hit you start like wanting to be like the cool kids or whatever. Like I wasn't nerdy, but I wasn't like focused on that. And then it shifted and I'm like, yo, I like this. I like this lifestyle. But I'm like, how am I going to do it while keeping pieces of myself? And then so when I started my sneaker reselling business, it was the first time I built the e-commerce website. It was the first time I wrote full copy. I learned graphic design, self-taught everything, just because I wanted it bad. And then now I'm still utilizing those skills to this day, but refined and improved. So it was like, man, I can't thank Miami enough, and I always try to shout them out as much as I can. Even though I was only out there for like 3.5 years, but my grandma's still out there, my auntie's still out there. I still got people out there. So Miami's I hold that dear to my heart for sure.
Man, being focused on something like that at a young age make you dangerous out there. Because you say you still using it, everything that you learned from them. But let me ask you this, bro, because you said you played baseball. They giving out $700 million contracts, bro.
I see, and it was crazy.
How you walk away from the baseball,
man? So the story about that is a little crazy, and it was my junior year. I start, doing my scholarship campaigns is like what they call it. Just going out there doing showcases, doing whatever I can to get exposure so that I can be recruited for things. And mind you, the year prior, my sophomore year, I had played this was my last year on JV, and they had moved me to varsity at the end of the season. So it was like, I'm decent, I've been playing since I was 3 years old. So I was decent. I had won JV Defensive Player of the Year, everything. So it's like, I'm like, this is cake. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the league. I'm like, my cousin was in the league for 22 years. I'm going. My other cousin played at Chicago State, won Athlete of the Year over there. I'm like, I'm greasing it. But, you have different things that you can't control, such as like, people who may have animosity towards you for reasons that you don't know because of prior experiences with people who do know you. So it's like my coach, like he just started hating on me for no reason. No. He found out my cousin was who my cousin was, and it was like, I guess they might have played together in the pros before, but he said he knew him. Man, you probably something like that. Like he's like, yeah, he's like, I know your cousin. He's like, he doesn't return my calls, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what does that have to do with me? I'm like, mind you, I just reconnected with my cousin for the first time like in my life. I've known about him, but I never reached out to him until I had something solid. So now I'm doing my scholarship campaigns. I'm like, I would love some guidance, love some experience just from a pro leaguer, you know what I'm saying, just to give me that insight. And it was like, he found out, because you got to list it on the Perfect Game Showcase, like if you have any athlete relatives or pro relatives. So I do that, he see it, he like, oh, Latroy's your cousin, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what does that have to do with me, bro? And then next thing I know, I show up to practice. Mind you, I'm the only like full black kid on the team. Everybody else is either Hispanic or white or whatever. Because the other black kid who was on there, he switched to football. He committed. He was like, I'm done dealing with them. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about because I ain't see the varsity side. Yeah. Then my coach, he just started doing all the drills and practice in Spanish, like which I don't speak Spanish.
That's crazy.
He started, he benched me for the whole season, my whole junior year. We had to get the NAACP involved because it was definitely racially motivated. And we had to bring them in. That coach got fired, thank God. But it soured my experience so much, like this life that I've known for the past 13 years, it felt like it was taken away from me so fast. And I was just like, bro, I'm walking away. I'm gonna go to my second passion, my second love, which was music. And I feel like that really saved my spirits. You know what I'm saying? That saved my drive and my ambition. Cause I feel like a kid like me who was down to put in the work has a sour experience, which I feel like there's plenty of kids out there who's down to put in the work. And one experience changes their whole mentality and it makes them kind of lose that lust for life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, thank God it didn't, sour it too much to where it's like I didn't want to do nothing, or I chose a route to be regular. You know what I'm saying? So
I went through something similar like that in football, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't know what to do for a long time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was during the time, man, we came up in the backyard playing football, learning our passion. Then a coach, like, literally do that, and then that's something that goes, like I ain't saying undiagnosed, but that don't get talked about enough in our community, because that be all we know growing up. They say go to school, play sports, you gonna make it. That's all. So that's literally our mindset. We going to school to play sports to make it.
That's the number one pipe dream, bro.
Exactly.
Like, either like you gonna hoop, or you gonna be an athlete, or you gonna be a rapper. And like that's the narrative I'm also trying to change too. But definitely is not talked about enough to where it's like people don't understand how these older figures, or like just these coaches or any people we look up to, how much power they have over us and how much like they can affect the trajectory of our lives, bro. And it's crazy. And it's like seeing that firsthand. I don't think if you didn't live it, you would never get it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we need to bring that to light more.
For sure. And with the so pivoting back with the music, you know, you discussed a new project on the work. So like, from what I'm getting with this interview, I'm getting a lot of build up. So this project, I'm pretty sure you got a straightforward attitude about this project.
Oh man, like, all right, so everything that y'all done heard about me and my work ethic and everything, I'm literally 10Xing that for this project. Like Angel know, I'm talking about 3-4 in the morning, going to sleep every day, like Monday through Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Sunday I try to take it easy, but it's like, man, I got such a great team around me. Shout out Raven. Shout out Radio, shout out Lottie, shout out Deano, all the people who are helping me, build this infrastructure for longevity, to where it's like we not just putting out a project and then we just gonna go back to whatever. Like we putting out this project and then we building from that, we compounding that success. So yeah, it's like, man, Synthetic with 3 eyes, don't forget it. Synthetic is really coming together, and it's me being in branding and marketing and having a background in that, I'm really doubling down on that other than the music. So it's like those are my 2 things that I'm leading the charge with. And when I built the ethos behind it, it's like Synthetic, when people think about it, they think it's like fake. They think of artificial. That's not what it is. It's synthetic in the sense of being unreal. It's incredible. It's like, yo, I can't even believe I'm seeing this right now. I can't believe I'm hearing this. And it's like you almost think like it's like AI or like artificial intelligence, but no, it's unreal. That's what it is. So when we dive into the music side of it, it's 15 tracks. All the features are Chicagoans, like homegrown, or they either Midwesterners who live in Chicago. And it's like it's becoming so special. And I think what we've been talking about it, when we've been talking about it, we refer to it as slow cooker music or crock pot music and versus microwave music, because we pouring so much into it. We spending the sessions like nitpicking at every little detail, every little imperfection in it to smooth it out, and then we get to mix that Classic Studios, which is top tier. So We just really pouring a lot into it, and we think this is gonna be the thing that helps us break through. Because we kind of sitting on this bubble right now, so where it's like we've had so many great experiences with, opening up for Dirk at the United Center last August, doing a brand partnership with Illinois Lottery, so many things that have helped us build momentum, and then being in talks with Roc Nation for as long as we have been. We definitely want to partner with them when the time is right. But in order to get to that point, we got to make sure the music is right. We got to make sure the team is right. We got to make sure we got the leverage in order to get a situation that works for us, which I want to, bring a very solid imprint, label, whatever you want to call it, to Chicago in order to do kind of what y'all doing, like have that platform for the upcoming artists, for the underdogs who really out here putting in work day in, day out. And it's like they get overlooked sometimes, so that's the macro plan for it. But right now, it's just some really good music that we've been putting together. So,
For sure.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Let's get into the next joint, man. This ain't no dance song.
Yep, first single from Synthetic, baby.
Checking back in with Drew the Kiiid.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
All right. Now, we done talked a lot about like intention. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's a 2-part question I got for you.
Mm-hmm.
How important was your parents in your growth now, and how much of that eventually turned into you understanding what they were, laying into you?
Thanks. Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up, because that's the number one woman I got to give her flowers every single chance I get, bro. My mama is such a beast in the sense of just like laying that foundation for me to even be able to have the thoughts and concepts to be able to like strive for better. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and she don't like me to talk about this, but I remember we was poor. Like we was poor from like when I was born to like 7 years old. When I was 7 years old, she started doing IT for the city of Chicago, and then she just started working her way up through the ranks. But I used to literally sit there and watch her take calls. Like I studied how she talked to people. I studied how she would code switch, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to do stuff like that sometimes. But I would study all of her etiquette in being corporate and being professional. And then I would see her turn it off and come be a mom to us, or talk to my aunties, talk to, whoever, and then talk to her coworkers, talk to her bosses, whatever. And it's like seeing that stuff literally changed my life. Like I feel like if I didn't have the exposure to that I did, I wouldn't be sitting here today. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like those little things make other people believe in you. It's like we've and then even my dad too. My dad, like, it's funny enough, they just got married. They got married like 2 years ago. So they had me and my sister. My sister's 6 years older than me, and they were like, my mom was a rapper. She went on tour. So it's like a lot of lineage that I can relate back to my parents and my mom. But yeah, she was a rapper, went on tour, came back home, and then my dad was her background dancer, funny enough.
Yeah.
Dad was her background dancer. She went on tour like Too Short, Ice Cube, whatever. So he got exposed to a bunch of stuff through her, and she was like living her life, came back. They had my sister when they was like 24, had me when they was 30. Never had any other kids outside of us. Were never married, on and off, whatever. My mom been in different relationships. My dad was in jail, blah, blah, blah. And it was just crazy because like now to see them come back together after like 30 years, you know what I'm saying? 20 something, 30 years, and have a whole new formula for me. So now it's like I'm a young adult, and they like, now we gonna pour into you like this versus how we poured into you growing up. Because my dad, he would teach me, stuff about just street smarts and how to make sure you don't get got and how to make sure you don't die. You know what I'm saying? Little things, which is like, unfortunately, that's the conversations that we gotta have. But then it's like, my mom, she was more of a caretaker, never soft on me, but she got me into sports. She got me into, playing chess, into music. You know what I'm saying? I joined choir in 7th grade. Like so many things where it's like, I got to give my dad his flowers, but I got to give my mom her flowers because like she did that solo dolo pretty much. Like I said, my stepdad had a stroke when I was like 9. So he was like there, but like he couldn't contribute as much as I'm sure he would have liked. So it's like she just been through a lot. She literally put the team on her back, and my sister's married in the Navy, living her best life, got my 2 nephews, and then, I'm on my journey. I've been able to do some pretty cool things. So yeah, like super important from both of my parents and my stepdad. God rest his soul. So yeah.
For sure. Condolences, man, on that too, for real.
Nah, thank you.
Everybody play a part in your journey, for sure.
Everybody. Even my coaches growing up too, they instilled a lot into me. So yeah, shout out. That's why, like, even on the project, funny enough, I got the intro is called First Impression. And in the hook I talk about I'm just a reflect. I say I talk about these things because they made me who you see standing in front of you. I'd introduce myself on my own with no one else, but that is never true. I'm just a reflection, hoping that I made a good first impression. Because I'm literally just all of these people living through me, and I'm just the product of them. So it's like I can't take the credit for that at all. So it's like everybody who's poured into me.
Hey man, you know something for real. But man, you got the team in here with you, bro. You got management, you got press. You know what I'm saying. You spoke on branding and marketing throughout the interview. You know what I'm saying. So, like I also said again, you skipped a line with that. And how important, if you could tell another artist, you know, that's searching, because you know some people watch interviews to search. You know, you probably got some people that's gonna watch this interview that you inspiring, but they had never had a heart to tell you that.
Facts though.
So if they ever trying to learn something from you, anybody trying to learn something from you, how tell them how important would that be?
Bro, I can't stress this enough. Anybody listening, anybody who watches this in the future, any aspiring artist, even if you're not an artist, whatever you're trying to do, if you're trying to be a chef, whatever you're going to school, no matter what, get a job, get some income. That's everybody talk about, like anti 9-to-5, blah blah blah. Like, get a job, bro. Like Angel knows how much. Like he was when I was younger, and I was like doing minimum wage jobs or part time, whatever. Angel was holding it down, and it's like now as I got older, I've been able to contribute way more than I was, and that's how you get growth. You can't just be living how you were living when you was 18, 19. As you grow, you should be trying to checking off this checklist of like, how did I boss up this year? How did I do this? And you only do that by humbling yourself and getting a job. Nobody starts unless you like got some crazy type of nepotism, which some people do, shout out them. But even then, it's like they still got to prove their worth. They still got to, work. But get a job, get your own capital to start your own business and fund your own dreams. Because if you don't, or do that and get a solid partner who also believes in your dream as much as you can. Because it's like, regardless, you can't skip that step. You can't skip having capital, one, to live, but then to also fund your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because living is hard enough. So it's like you try to mix that with life and doing, something extraordinary and irregular. You definitely need all the support you can get. And no, you can't expect people to support you more than you can ever support yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I was fortunate enough to where it's like, I did all the labor jobs. I did all the factory jobs, Amazon, FedEx, whatever, delivery jobs, DoorDash, blah, 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 all that. Until I got a clue, and it took me all the way until I was 21. I had been doing sync music for so long. I got placements with Reebok, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't consistent. We'll bring in good money, but it's like, we know how that goes. It's like fast money come in, gone. But how regular is it? So I was like, okay, I need to humble myself. I didn't go to college. I opted out of college, especially coming from like a Cambridge cheat code, bitch. That's what I'm saying. I don't knock nobody going to college, but like when I got hired on at Guarantee Rate, my chief creative officer, he said it better than anybody's ever told me in my life. He said, no, he's like, I don't think you skipped, because I was like, man, I feel like I kind of missed out on like some experiences of college. He said, no, you didn't miss out at all. And I'm telling you, my kid is like in college right now. He don't know what he gonna do. He was like, you use your 4 years differently. And he was like the same. He was like, you counted down from 18 to 22. He was like, bro, like you figured it out in that 4 years, which everybody should be, after they get out of high school, they should be trying to figure it out as quick as possible. And then so I was able to go do my internships at Squeaky Clean. Shout out Squeaky Clean and Chris Clark for giving me that shot. Because I came to them and they look at me as talent. They look at me as like, like, oh man, Drew, every time we call you, you're great. And I appreciate them for that. But I hit them up one day and I think I kind of caught them off guard. I was like, bro, can I y'all need me to get y'all coffee? Like what? Like what y'all want me to do? Like I just need to learn the business side of what you guys do. Because I see it on the talent side, but I see y'all doing y'all team dinners and I see y'all doing y'all, work from homes and just different. I'm like, I want that lifestyle and I think it can help me. And he was like, yo, we bring you on a production intern, no problem. He brought me on, did that for 6 months. Taught me so many administrative skills, so many just intangible skills that you need Because they said it best, like they could teach somebody how to use a compressor, they could teach somebody how to produce, they could teach somebody how to make music. They can't teach work ethic, they can't teach drive. So it's like you gotta humble yourself and work your way through the ranks until that thing that you're working towards pops off. You know what I'm saying? Never count your chickens before they hatch. And humble yourself, do the work, make as many positive impressions as you can. Because after the production internship, I linked with Cheryl Berman, who was like an advertising legend. Literally came up with the I'm Loving It campaign for McDonald's with Justin Timberlake. Like her team ideated that. She branded Altoids. She branded Sky Zone. She does all these things. Chief Creative Officer of Leo Burnett for 20 years. The guy whose name Leo Burnett took his job after he left. And she's such a wealth of knowledge. I interned for her for like 3 months. She let me do so much writing because she's a beast with copywriting. Like she don't need nobody else. Like that's why she's been doing it for as long as she did. But it was like she brought me in and I was like, she's not gonna let me do no writing. I'm gonna be doing like branding work, blah, blah, blah. And I pull up to her multi-million-dollar mansion, you know, in Wilmette on the beach. And she's like doing these branding sessions with these people. And she's like, no, she's like, you're not getting food, you're not getting coffee. She's like, I need you for high-level ideation. I need you for strategy. I need you for conceptualizing. And that was just such a confidence booster to me. And that kicked down the doors, opened the floodgates, showed me what my potential was, showed me my worth and my value. So I thank her forever indebted to her. And then she made some calls because she put in the work for so long. And she did such a great job where now she can call people and be like, I got this kid named Drew. You should get him in over there. Got me my first job at guaranteed rate. And after a year of internships, I figured it out. And I was, you know, I don't like to, this is not me saying it to brag or anything, but like, you know, at 22 years old, I was fortunate enough to be making like $60,000 a year just off of that one revenue stream of copywriting and advertising because I knew that's where the money was, you know what I'm saying? So just get a job, suck it up, thug it out, and then go where the money is. Just always move in the direction of the money.
All right, that's my favorite question. You feel me? You young, but you well traveled. You feel me?
Yeah,
so
I
ain't got to remix my question for you. If you can go back and give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
Any advice? I would say spend your money wisely. Like I've been fortunate enough to come into a good amount of money from my age, just through the years. And I feel like if I spent it wisely when I got it, then I would have been even further along than I am now, which I'm very happy and comfortable with my progress. But I feel like I could probably 10x that if I would have spent it wisely. Because I feel like, you know, everybody says save money, and I think that's like a case by case basis. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you should save money, you should definitely put money in for a rainy day or put it in a Roth IRA or whatever. But it's like with me, and I debate with my mom about this all the time. I'm like, you know, in order to get money, like right now, where I'm at right now in my life, I need to spend money. You know what I'm saying? I need to spend it on the right things. So, you know, I need to build my team. I need to, you know, make sure that I'm protected, you know, legally for my music stuff. I need to make sure I can afford to go out of town. I need to make sure I can go and have the meetings and the dinners with the right people. You know what I'm saying? So just spending my money wisely. Like I think that's one thing that I've fortunately enough just now learned, you know what I'm saying? And I'm still learning more every day. So
all right, before we get out of here, tell everybody how they can get in tune with you, stay in tune with you, find everything you got going on.
Yes, sir. Y'all can find me on virtually everything at Drew the Kiiid. That's Drew the KIIID, DREWTHEKIIID. And yeah, we got a lot of good music on the way. We got a lot of good music that's out now. So check that out. Follow me on Instagram for updates. And, you know, I'm going to try to keep y'all in the loop about this project. And we'll see where we at next year.
All right, Jimmy, talk to the people.
Man, I don't even know where to start. Man.
I was finna say that. You lost for words.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all, man.
For sure, bro. You came in, laid it down, bro. Like you just did the ill style. You know what
right? I was spitting the lucky.
For sure. But that's what's up, man. And like real talk, bro. You give me hope for the youth. Like for real, bro. Like
thank you.
I don't think you too far ahead of yourself at all. Like you doing stuff that's ahead of your time, you know, that you don't hear 23-year-olds doing, but I don't think at the same time you ain't too far ahead of you. I think you in the right now. Like you in the what life is.
Thank
like,
you. Yeah.
Life is. Then when you was just talking about money, it's crazy because I'm like 4 or 5 years older than you. I'm gonna be 28 in July.
Nice. Okay.
So
Congratulations.
for sure, appreciate that, bro. You know how it go, man. It's a blessing.
It's a blessing to make it
for sure, man. But one thing I learned, growing up in neighborhoods and conditions I grew up in, it was about survival.
Yeah.
But it's a switch. I had a friend. I always credit her to this day. When I was like 17, we was just casually texting. Then she asked me how I was doing. Then I said something. Then she went to the point and asked me like, "Are you living or are you surviving?" Then I ain't never had nobody ask me no shit like that.
It's
like
important.
For real. She only stayed across the highway, but our living conditions was so different. If you get what I'm saying.
I know how it is with Harvey down the street to Midlothian. It's different worlds, bro.
Exactly. So that made me just realize, like, bro, it's all about a state of mind. Like your mind, your best vehicle, bro, and that shit got you cruising. You know what I'm saying? So.
I appreciate that.
Man.
And like I said too, like I can't take all the credit. Like I'd be remiss if I took all the credit. It's like you got people like Angel right here, where it's like he's been like, this is what I mean when I say building a team. Not only the people who can support you with resources, who can support you emotionally, who can support you mentally, to where it's like he's giving me the cheat codes to where it's like, cause he's 5 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, or really like 7 years older than me. And
appreciate that, kid.
I know,
you can roll back them.
You getting old, boy. You
can roll back them miles.
But it's like since I met him when he was only 25, you know what I'm saying, close to the age that I'm at right now. And it's like, for him to also be somebody who was strong-minded, strong-willed, and able to kind of have that foresight and see where they wanted to be, know where they wanted to be, and supplement my ambitions and my endeavors with that. You need, everybody should have at least one angel or multiple, where it's like now you got, pieces that you putting into your mix to where it's like, all right, now we're going to build an empire together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, I appreciate y'all, like just meeting y'all today too for the first time is really humbling as well, because like I said, I don't get to talk about this stuff a lot. And, I feel like, like you said with the youth, it's like, man, my whole thing, the reason why I'm named Drew the Kid is like, my goal is to be childlike, not childish. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to keep that sense of wonder. And I feel like every kid, you can sometimes see, because you be like looking at certain kids, you like, bro, you wasn't like this when you was younger. you was kind of fun, happy. And it's like, now you all like sad and like just in your feelings. And it's like, because they lost that sense of wonder and that sense of innocence, where it's like, as a kid, that's the best features. That's the best traits, because our imagination is limitless. So it's like maintaining that into adulthood is something that I'm very passionate about. And I want to make sure that, all the youth, even all the adults, if you lost it, please do whatever you can to get it back. And kids don't ever lose that. You know what I'm saying?
I always say the movie The Curious Case of Benjamin Button is one of the most important screenplays ever. That's exactly what you said is the reason why they made that movie.
You feel me? Because it's like, bro, like if you can have the experience and the knowledge of a 30-year-old, 40-year-old, but you still have the sense of wonder and the creativity and the imagination of a 9-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're powerful. Nobody can stop you at that point, because you think in your mind that nobody can stop you. So if you think, therefore it is. So
real talk, man. But yeah, just keep cruising, bro. You got the mindset for it, man. We looking forward to the project and everything, bro. I know our door closed right now, but it's real life open for you, bro.
So, man, that's love. Same here. That's why I said we got to tap into some stuff like
we definitely,
not even a question.
Yes, sir. We definitely will, man. Hey, everybody listening, man. I hope you learned something from Drew the Kid today, man. For sure. Make sure y'all tap in, man. We got a lot of stuff coming from us, so we gonna be checking for you, bro.
Appreciate that, man. That's love.
Real talk, man. Everybody listening, follow Ill Sound Radio, ILLSOUND Radio. Follow me, Groove Nuke, GROOV. NUKE. And I just want to say one more time, man, shout out to you, shout out to your team, man. Y'all came in and we see why. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. Shout out to y'all for even having a platform to host us on. So
yes, sir. Shout out to Team iLLANOiZE, man. Go and download that app, stream music 24/7, submit music, all that good stuff. And Jay, what you got to say to him?
All right, man. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to my boy Biko, because Biko hit me like, man, I need a date. I'm like, man, we ain't got none until May. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, man, we'll just choose this date to double up on interviews, and I'm glad we did, because like just hearing your mindset and your mentality, bro, it's something that I try to instill in my kids. I got a 16-year-old, I got a 12-year-old, and I tell them like, man, do it. I can't make you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I can push you in that direction, but you gotta want to do it. That's the only way you're gonna excel and grow. Like, it's cool to fail, you know what I'm saying, as long as you try. We not quitting though.
And fail fast. fail fast. Like get it out the way.
Young.
Yeah, get it out the way.
So like right now, my son, you feel me? He got 2 basketball games after this. My daughter, she play every sport. She done built her own computer, all types of things. So I be trying to, you know, just put the pieces in place for them to use their creativity, you know, because a lot of times, you know, well, in y'all generation, y'all came up with computers, tablets, laptops, you know what I'm saying? So the world was y'all oyster in a way, you know. So
Definitely.
Just hearing how you just stay focused at a young age, bro. Even you saying you made $40,000 at 15, bro. Like that's crazy.
It was
bro.
wild, bro. It was wild, man. I'm just fortunate for that experience too. And I just want to say this too for like, you know, because that's your little man in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, all the parents, bro, like any parents listening to this, and then especially to you, Jay, like y'all doing a great job, bro. Like I just want y'all to keep that in mind. Like I know there's some parents out there who's like kind of bogus, but most of the parents out there, y'all doing a great job because I know y'all doing all that y'all can. And it's like we have so much at our fingertips to where it's like, you know, I try to tell my mom that as much as I can, to where it's like, 'cause she be hard on herself, and people got to realize that y'all are growing as we're growing. Like y'all raising us, but y'all are still finding yourselves and figuring out what y'all want to do. So it's like, you know, don't be hard on yourself, man. Like I think, you know, just based off of what you telling me and just the conversation that we having, like y'all doing great jobs as parents, you know what I'm saying? So
Effort.
I got it, man.
And I appreciate that. And once again, we appreciate you for sliding through, you feel me, and just being open and honest with the conversation. Because I tell Jimmy all the time, like a lot of times when artists come up here, it's their first interview. Yeah. We don't know them from a can of paint, you right. feel me? And me and Jimmy, we make active, like this may sound crazy, we try our best not to research the artist. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We want to sit with you and have a genuine conversation because I feel like that's better than an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like we could ask you, like, how did you get your name?
Yeah, like conversations is where it's at. Transparency is where it's at. And that's always, I'm always trying to bring that in my music, interviews, like wherever. Like I'm trying to just, like Drew the Kid isn't a character, you know what I'm saying? It's really just a lifestyle that I've been fortunate enough to identify, you know what I'm saying? So I take that, and then like that's my big idea. It's just how I live my life, and I take that and I was able to put a name to it and like kind of personify it. So that's why I'm like, yeah, just genuine conversations is always the best. And it's like, man, I appreciate y'all for even being open to the conversation and doing what y'all do. Like y'all killing the journalism game. Y'all don't even know. Like y'all crazy journalists out here. So
appreciate it,
yeah, shout out y'all.
All right, man. We got one more joint, man. Knievel Stunt sent us out on that.
Man, Knievel stunts, man, you know, I don't need to stunt, but when I do, I pull Knievel stunts, man. Shout out Intro, first project ever, dropped 2022, all by myself, literally one of the most stressful times of my life. Just me and Angel, just thugging it out, paying out of pocket for everything, cutting corners on the mixing. I had to mix the project myself, so don't judge me too hard on the mix. It's getting done up now, but yeah, shout out Knievel stunts, man. We doing it big. Hey.